Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. You're still watching Channels Beam on Channels Television. We're now joined by Olumide Idowu, whom I earlier on introduced on the show. Olumide is a climate change enthusiast and expert. Olumide, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, Olumide, looking at the whole thing, I mean, as a young man, you're into this sector that seems not to be so lucrative, I mean, so to speak. Why did you decide to go into climate change?
Okay, basically, it started something some years back when I was in school. That was in 2009, 2010. And I always do a project concerning environment, training young people how to take care of the environment. And from there, I started having opportunities to attend some conferences in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So this really gave me the urge to have this zeal for our environment.
Okay, now just going by what you said you've attended a couple of conferences in Nigeria, even out of the country. All these things that you've gathered, all the knowledge you've got, how have you been able to put that back in the community? I mean, in Nigeria, how has it helped us back here at home?
One of the things that we always go through when we go abroad is a lot of training on how we can implement our strategy back at home. So anytime we come back home, we also sit down to do an evaluation of the conference, and we also go into whereby we can put them into practice by visiting communities, doing a lot of research for some organizations, international bodies that can also fund those kind of projects.
Okay, some years back, I mean, there was this desk that was created by the federal government in the Ministry of Environment. What's the primary aim of that desk, and to what extent has that desk fared in terms of carrying out its main objectives and responsibilities?
There's a call for it from young people and some civil societies, and this really they really push it up for the position of young people to have a climate change desk in the ministry. And with the ministry also see that, okay, fine, if they have a climate change in the ministry, to be able to, streamline the issue directly, not you passing through a process before getting to the ministry. So they create a climate change desk where we cry for young person to be there. So, and I think up to today, the climate change desk is still going through some processes.
If you say so, what then is the role of the desk? I mean, the climate change desk that was created by the federal government in the Ministry of Environment.
Okay, since its creation, I think they've involved young people in some decisions and in some position towards our international conferences on climate change programs.
Okay, coming back to you now, you started a program called Climate Wednesday, and I mean, you do stuff on that. To what extent can you say this program has reached the layman, the ordinary man on the street?
Okay, so basically, Climate Wednesday is a voice, whereby it's a voice and a tweet meet on every Wednesday. And one of the things Climate Wednesday has done a lot for us is it has really shown people the real impact of climate change and the real effect of climate. So what we talk about on Climate Wednesday is not only climate change issue, we talk issues related to environmental issues, whereby we talk about food security, we talk about health issues related to climate change. For example, we celebrate different UN days whereby we talk about how it's related to climate change. So we've done a lot of research, we've done a lot of videos and a lot of articles on how we can take our environment more bigger and better. So that's what we do on Climate Wednesday.
Okay, of course, just from what you said now, I mean, talking about government implementation, how is the government coming? I mean, because you're talking about so many recommendations that you people have made, but how has that been implemented by the government, of course?
The recommendation are something that each organization, each initiative that attended the program needs to go back to their home, to their community to implement those projects. So for me, what I can just say is one of my pet projects, which is Climate Wednesday, I use that Climate Wednesday to talk more about what I've gained from the conference. So every civil society, every organization that when the conference also go back home and also implement the training that they did during the conference. So I think one of the things I would say is that we have a lot of young people that were there and they are doing a great thing in the community. We are really looking at the education part of it, that we want people to really know how this thing is affecting us. Not only, okay, fine, this thing is happening here. So how do you know what is really happening before you take a steps on it? So we are using this platform to start from primary to secondary school students so that they can really know the effect.
Bringing us back to the whole climate change desk, how has it fared so far? I mean, since its creation some years back by the federal government.
Yeah, I think for some time now, a lot of people have been doing a lot with the secondary school and the university student, and it has really, let me give you a scale of 1 to 10. We have like 6, from scale of 1 to 10, 6. And what we are calling for now is that the government should do more partnership with this kind of initiative, this kind of organization that is coming up in training young people now to know what is really happening in their community, how they can have understanding of how to go about it.
So what exactly are the roles, main objectives of this desk that was created? The climate change desk by the federal government in the Ministry of Environment.
One of the major roles is for them to make sure that all the position of young people, that I want them to pass to all these international conferences whereby federal government attends. We want them to also go along with our own voice, our own position, so that they can also know what we are talking about. So that it's not going to look like, okay, fine, it's only the government that is talking, but they are carrying along the young people. So that's one of the things that we are fighting for on the climate change index.
Olumide, thanks for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you've learned a thing or two about climate change, but then it still remains so many recommendations have been made, but implementation still remains the problem. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll look at some of your comments streaming through some of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, as well as G+, before reviewing the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week. Don't go away.
Following the shocking discovery of human body parts, decomposing bodies, and skeletons at an abandoned factory in Ibadan, the spokesperson of the State Police Command called on citizens to be vigilant, as policemen cannot be everywhere, every time. This is the 5th most viewed video.
As it is, and as I keep saying, as you are here now, you can only see what is ahead of you, isn't it? Can you see what is basically behind you or at that other side? You understand the point I'm making? So it takes, and as I said, police cannot be at every time, at every place, at every time. We need the help of the public too, to give us information. And immediately the report of this so-called thing happened, the police rose to the challenges.
On a brighter note, the royal wedding ceremony between the son of the Oba of Benin, Prince Osama, and his bride, Ediri, is the 4th most viewed video.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Prince Osama Benin.
The 3rd most viewed video in the past week is a Channels television report on Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan's meeting with Pope Francis I in the Apostolic Palace at the Holy See. The 2nd most viewed video shows a confession by an ex-political thug named Abdul Karim Abubakar, who killed and beheaded Farouk Lawal to free himself.
The boy become threat to my life.
Okay, how much were you paid to kill him?
I was not paid to kill him. I did it. I shoot him myself to free myself. I did not pay. Nobody sent me to kill him. He offended me. He's killing my family because he want to kill me. That's why I go for him. I do it for vengeance. I never do it before, but just for me to free, because I'm not free if the boy is alive.
The most viewed video is another report on the baby factory which was discovered in the Akute area of Ogun State.
If they are born, they will sell it.
How much do they sell them?
300.
Speak up. Speak up.
I said 300.
300.
There you go. Some of the comments you sent and the videos that you watched the most on our YouTube channel for the past week. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, while inaugurating the Advisory Committee on Agricultural Resilience in Nigeria in September 2013, warned that Nigeria's economy runs the risk of losing between $100 to $460 billion to climate change by the year 2020. He noted that although Africa contributes very little to the greenhouse emissions, the negative impact of climate change on the continent and indeed Nigeria will be enormous. This is where we end the program today. From me, Victor Matthias, and the rest of the channel's web team, it's goodbye and have a blessed week. But don't forget, follow the social media addresses on your screen so we keep the conversation going online.